Born in 200 AC to Prince Maekar Targaryen and Lady Diana Dane, Aegon Targaryen was given a green dragon egg with white swirls which he kept at Summerhall. As he aged, Aegon grew into a bold, mischievous, compassionate, and kindly boy with deep dark purple eyes and silver gold hair. Under the reign of his grandfather, King Daeron II, Aegon served for 2 years as a page in the royal court, sometimes attending meetings of the small council. The fourth son and fifth child of Prince Maekar, his siblings included his older brothers, Daeron, Aerion, and Aemon, who gave him the nickname Egg, as well as his older sister Daella and younger sister Rhae. In their youth, Aegon and his brothers recreated the Battle of the Redgrass Field with painted soldiers, while his sisters played games for his affection, as he was betrothed from an early age to Daella, which led a jealous Rhae to slip him a supposed love potion so he would marry her instead. At the time, however, Aegon had no interest in girls and dreamed of becoming a great knight of the King's Guard. Though he got along well with most of his siblings, he hated his cruel, deranged older brother Aerion, who thought he was a dragon in human form, possibly threw Aegon's pet cat down a well, and visited Aegon's room at night where he held a knife to the boy's privates, threatening to remove his genitals and make him a sister so they could marry. Eager to start his knightly training around the age of 9, Aegon was named Squire to his eldest brother, but was disappointed to learn Daeron was a deeply troubled man who drank excessively to deal with the prophetic visions that plagued his dreams. Though they were supposed to attend the tourney of Ashford in 209 AC, Daeron instead drank himself into a stupor at a nearby inn, even shaving Aegon's head so no one would recognize him as a Targaryen. After the death of his mentor, Ser Arlen of Pennytree, the former Squire Dunk stopped at an inn on his way to Ashford, where he mistook young Aegon as a stable boy and encountered a drunk Daeron Targaryen who spoke of seeing him in a dream. Desperate to serve as a squire at the tourney, Aegon offered his services to the humble hedge knight but was rejected. Even so, he refused to take no for an answer, and hitched a ride to the tourney on the back of a lamb cart, before finding Dunk's camp and demonstrating his usefulness by washing the man's clothes, grooming his horses, making a fire, catching a fish and cooking the fish. Impressed by the boy he assumed was an orphan from Fleabottom, Dunk accepted him as a squire for the tourney, and they formally exchanged names, with Aegon calling himself Egg and the hedge knight Ser Duncan the Tall. Much to Egg's regret, his hated brother Aerion also attended the tourney, and almost immediately caused trouble when he challenged Sir Humphrey Harding to a joust, but purposely aimed his lance low to strike his opponent's horse, which then flailed in pain and collapsed on the knight, shattering his leg. Egg then witnessed Aerion target the Dornish girl Tenzel Too-Tall, and break her fingers because she performed a puppet show that depicted a knight slaying a dragon. Outraged by his brother's cruelty, Egg ran to Ser Duncan, who immediately defended the girl, striking Aerion down before kicking him in the belly and mouth. Yet assaulting a member of the royal family was a serious crime, and so Ser Duncan was captured by the prince's guards, who would have done him great harm if not for the intervention of Egg, who revealed his true identity as Prince Aegon Targaryen, grandson of the king and younger brother to Aerion. Even so, the hedge knight was imprisoned, and so Egg visited him with a tray of food and explained himself, apologizing for the deception. Later brought before Egg's uncle, Prince Baelor Breakspear, heir to the Iron Throne, Dunk learned he now faced a second accusation, as Egg's original master, Prince Daeron, invented a story about the hedge knight kidnapping Aegon from an inn to avoid punishment from their father for getting drunk while the boy ran off. Fortunately for Ser Duncan, who feared the loss of a hand and foot, Prince Baelor was wise, good-hearted, and sympathetic, advising him to ask for a trial by combat, only for Aerion to then demand a trial of 7, likely fearing he'd lose a one-on-one confrontation, while reasoning it was unlikely his opponent could rally 6 champions to his cause. Later that night, Egg visited Ser Duncan at the Fossaway tent, where Ser Steffan pledged to be one of his champions, and brought his brother Daeron, who apologized for his lies, and promised to take a dive during the fighting. Nevertheless, Dunk did not have much hope, until young Aegon helped gather 4 more champions, in Sir Humphrey Harding, Sir Humphrey Beesbury, Sir Robin Riceling, and the Laughing Storm Sir Lionel Baratheon. However, when Ser Steffan was offered a lordship, he betrayed the team and joined Prince Aerion. Outraged by this dishonor, Raymond Fossaway volunteered to replace his cousin Stefan, and so was knighted by Sir Lionel Baratheon. Still short one man, Ser Duncan appealed to the crowd, resulting in Prince Baelor Breakspear becoming his final champion. Prince Aeryn's team included his brother Prince Daeron, his father Prince Maekar, Sir Stefan Fossaway, and the three Kingsguard, Willem Wilde, Donald of Duskendale, and Roland Crakehall. Although Dunk's inexperience nearly cost his life, he used his superior strength and wrestling to defeat the prince. Yet much to Duncan's regret, several knights lost their lives, including Sir Humphrey Harding, Sir Humphrey Beesbury, and Prince Baelor Breakspear, who initially survived the trial, but died soon after from a terrible head wound inflicted by his brother Maekar, collapsing into the arms of the hedge knight who begged him to get up. After the trial, Egg spoke to his father and informed him he would squire for no one save Ser Duncan, and so Maekar held a meeting with the hedge knight, offering him a position at Summerhall. Duncan accepted Egg as his squire, but only on the condition he could continue as a hedge knight, so the boy could learn humility and the struggles of the small folk. Though able to join Ser Duncan, Aegon had to hide his identity throughout their travels, but carried with him a Targaryen signet ring he could show if they were ever in trouble. After the tournament, Dunk and Egg went on a number of adventures, including a journey through Dorne, a sea voyage to Old Town that was raided by pirates, giving both their first taste of combat at sea, and a trip to the Citadel where they visited Egg's older brother Maester Aemon. They then went to work for Sir Eustace Osgrey of Standfast, who was in conflict with House Webber of Coldmoat over the rights to the Chequy Water. To avoid a battle their side would certainly lose, Dunk showed Lady Webber Aegon's signet ring, but the issue still needed to be decided, and so the Hedge Knight fought a trial by combat against Sir Lucas Longinch, where Ser Duncan nearly drowned but ultimately emerged victorious. After pulling his wounded master from the river, Egg was gifted a horse named Rain by Lady Webber, who went on to settle the dispute by marrying Sir Eustace. Sometime later in 212 AC, Dunk and Egg traveled north, having heard Lord Baron Stark was hiring warriors to defend the coast from Ironborn raiders, but along the way met a number of knights like John the Fiddler, who invited them to the wedding of Lord Ambrose Butterwell and a daughter of House Frey, as a tourney would be held with a dragon egg as the grand prize. As they joined the festivities, Egg struck the Squire of Sir Mallor when he called Prince Maekar a kinslayer that might kill King Aerys, who inherited the throne after the death of Daeron II 3 years earlier. Egg also noticed many in attendance once supported Daemon Blackfyre and grew suspicious, while Dunk lost his horse and armor when defeated and nearly killed in the first round of jousting by Sir Uther Underleaf. Soon enough, the tourney spiraled into chaos. As the dragon egg was stolen, Sir Glendon Ball was arrested, and Lord Alan Cockshaw attacked Ser Duncan, revealing his jealousy that his possible lover John the Fiddler was giving the Hedge Knight extra attention. Although Duncan was injured in the attack, he managed to defeat his assailant and throw him down a well. Initially unable to find his squire, he eventually found Aegon confronting Lord Ambrose Butterwell, accusing him of conspiring with other Blackfyre supporters, falsely claiming his father Prince Maekar was on his way with an army. Forced to defend the boy, Ser Duncan killed Black Tom Heddle, after which he revealed John the Fiddler's true identity as Daemon Blackfyre II, who was gathering supporters at White Walls for a second Blackfyre rebellion. Dunk then claimed Sir Glendon Ball was falsely arrested by the Blackfyre supporter Lord Gorman Peake because he refused to take a dive in his joust against John the Fiddler. In order to decide the veracity of these claims, Daemon Blackfyre fought Sir Glendon in a trial by combat joust, but was soundly defeated and knocked into the mud, causing those in attendance to mockingly call him the Brown Dragon. This second Blackfyre rebellion then ended when the Hand of the King, Brendan Rivers, also called Bloodraven, arrived with an army and arrested Daemon Blackfyre, as he was alerted by informants of this rebel gathering. For their help in thwarting this rebellion, young Aegon insisted on a reward for Ser Duncan, who was then able to ransom back his equipment from Sir Uther. These events concluded, Dunk and Egg continued their journey north and went on many more adventures together. A special thanks to all those who contribute to CivilizationEx, like Delacruz the Freed, Edingruir Spicy Sky Frugran, Tormus Woods Whisper, and Kyle Blitzsword. If you'd like to help the channel, be sure to give a like, leave a comment, subscribe, and click on the links below, or else go to patreon.com/CivilizationEx, where you can gain early access to videos and watch the Patreon-only series, Heroes of Lore and Legend.